Hey guys, it's Jane. I started rereading David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest during the week. This is a long book and I don't expect that I'll be finished it even by this time next week. So I thought rather than doing my regular Friday reads type videos, I'd just make a couple of videos that are just about this book. However many of them there are, depending on how long this takes and what else is going on in my life. The reason I decided I wanted to do this is that Infinite Jest is one of those books that has a bit of a reputation that can be somewhat off-putting to lots of people. It may be not the book for everybody, but I think that there is something in this book that almost anybody could get something out of. It's very funny in parts, although being quite dark in its overall themes. Parts of it just are so beautifully written that it makes you almost want to cry. The characters are very warm and alive, and they really discuss interesting issues the whole way through. So despite the fact that it has a difficult structure and it's incredibly long and it's got this, strange reputation, I really would like to encourage people to have a go. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be coming and making a video and telling you what's going on, give you little hints, and read some of the, some juicy bits out to kind of encourage people to give it a try. So at this point, I'm about 11% through. We've met several of our main characters from the story, but most of the running has been set at the Enfield Tennis Academy, which is like a boarding school for tennis, junior tennis wannabes at a very high level. This academy is owned and run by the Incandenza family. And one of our central characters of the book is Hal Incandenza, the son of the couple who started the academy, who was also a junior tennis player at the academy for large parts of the beginning of the book. So we meet Hal, his brother Mario, who is not a tennis player, who bunks with Hal at the academy. We meet a number of the staff and other players at the academy. And there are a few other threads that have been introduced at this point as well. We've met Don Gately, who is a drug addict and burglar who has made a pretty bad professional mistake and not intending to, has killed somebody in the course of one of his burglaries, and so is in pretty big strife. The person that he killed is actually associated with a Quebecois terrorist organisation, which is one of the conceits of the book, is that America, the US and Canada have kind of joined forces at some sort of level, and Quebec is not happy about this. We've also met a woman who's in a psychiatric hospital after a serious suicide attempt, and that's another character thread that we're going to follow throughout the story. But yeah, that's sort of where we are at the beginning, but most of the early part of the book follows Hal and is cited at the Enfield Tennis Academy. The first quote that I'm going to read you is a conversation that goes on at night between Hal and his brother Mario, who he bunks with. When I asked if you're asleep, I was going to ask if you felt like you believed in God today out there when you were so on, making that guy look sick. This again? I really don't think midnight is in a totally dark room with me so tired my hair hurts and drills in 6 short hours is the time and place to get into this, Mario. You ask me this once a week. You never say is why. Oh, look, so tonight, to shush you, how about if I say, I have administrative bones to pick with God, boo. I'll say, God seems to have a kind of laid-back management style I'm not crazy about. I'm pretty much anti-death. God looks by all accounts to be pro-death. I'm not seeing how we can get together on this issue, he and I, boo. You're talking about since himself passed away. See, you never say. I do too say. I just did. I just didn't happen to say what you wanted to hear, boo-boo is all. There's a difference. I don't get how you couldn't feel like you believed today out there. It was so right there. You moved like you totally believed. How do you feel inside? Not. Mario, you and I are mysterious to each other. We countenance each other from either side of some unbridgeable difference on this issue. Let's lie very quietly and ponder this. Hal? Hey, Hal? I'm going to propose that I tell you a joke, Boo, on the condition that afterwards you shush and let me sleep. Is it a good one? Mario, what do you get when you cross an insomniac, an unwilling agnostic, and a dyslexic? I give. You get somebody who stays up all night torturing himself mentally over the question of whether or not there's a dog. That's a good one. Shush. Hey, Hal, what's an insomniac? So here's the second quote that I'm going to read. This one is about drugs, or at least about, on the surface, about drugs. It introduces one of the main themes of the book, in my opinion. Recreational drugs are more or less traditional at any US secondary school, maybe because of the unprecedented tensions, post-latency and puberty and angst and impending adulthood, etc., to help manage the intrapsychic storms, etc. Since the place's inception, there's always been a certain percentage of the high-caliber adolescent players at ETA who manage their internal weathers chemically. Much of this is good, clean, temporary fun. But a traditionally smaller and harder core set tends to rely on personal chemistry to manage ETA's special demands. Dexedrine or low-volt methadrine before matches and benzodiazepines to come back down after matches, with mudslides or blue flames at some understanding ComAv night spot, or beers and bongs in some discreet academy corner at night to short-circuit the up and down cycle. Mushrooms or X or something from the mild designer class, or maybe occasionally a little Black Star whenever there's a match and demand-free weekend to basically short out the whole motherboard and blow out all the circuits and slowly recover and be almost neurologically reborn and start the gradual cycle all over again. This circular routine, if your basic wiring's okay to begin with, can work surprisingly well throughout adolescence and sometimes into one's early 20s before it starts to creep up on you. But so, some ETAs, not just Howling Condenser by any means, are involved with recreational substances is the point. Like, who isn't at some life stage in the USA and interdependent regions in these troubled times, for the most part? Though a decent percentage of ETA students aren't at all, i.e. involved. Some persons can give themselves away to an ambitious pursuit and have that be all the giving themselves away to something they need to do. Though sometimes this changes as the players get older and the pursuit more stress-fraught. American experience seems to suggest that people are virtually unlimited in their need to give themselves away on various levels. Some just prefer to do it in secret. Okay, that's all I have for you today. As I said, I'll check back in with a little bit more as I go. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.